Real quick, happy birthday to my boy Steven Scott. Woo woo! Alright, so Jon Snow and Rhaegar Targaryen have special swords. It's a play on words though. George is always playing with words. Starks are referred to as wolves, Lannisters as lions, and Targaryens as dragons. Those are pretty obvious. There's more subtle stuff though, like the sword Dawn. People say it was made from a fallen star, or a meteor. I wouldn't be shocked if it was made from a fallen star with a K, a fallen Stark, the first Night King. The reason I say this is because supposedly the waters froze down to the joining of the Selhorro that's over here in Essos, right around the same latitude as the top of Dorne. So Arthur Dayne's crib is right over here. So the first long night probably ended in Dorne. And even the region Dorne might be wordplay. Go have a few beers and say Dorne 5 times fast. Dorne, 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 Dorne. Dorne and Dawn. So Arthur Dayne's sword dawn and the end of the darkness, the dawn of a new day. That one's tinfoily though. Here are some others. George isn't shy about calling them what they are, but he also often refers to male and female private parts by secret code names. George refers to Dany's private part, the one between her legs, as her lips down there. Mel hid a key inside her skirts at one point in a secret pocket. That secret pocket probably referred to her little flower. See, I could do wordplay too, George. Actually, no, I stole that one from him. Here's another. This one's concrete and it's the point of this video, pun intended. George often refers to males' private parts as swords. There's a free folk named Rick or Reich, whose nickname is Longspear. Tormund told Jon, he don't fight with no spear, you know, never has. So where do you think he got that name? Har. Then we've got Carl with a Q. Yara said that Carl had 2 sure swords. The one that's in his hand, and the other one, which is sometimes in his hand I'm sure, but usually just chilling in his pants, or inside Yara Greyjoy. And here's the best one, Lady Dustin. Ned Stark's older brother Brandon took her maidenhead. She bled, and she referred to his swollen member as a bloody sword. So these are big clues to the real Azor Ahai, the real Nissa Nissa, and the real Lightbringer. Some people think that the Wall is Lightbringer, or the Night's Watch. Some people think that Winterfell is Lightbringer, or the Crypts of Winterfell. And some people think that Dany is Azor Ahai, and Drogon is Lightbringer. Drogon is a fiery sword. It's creative. I dig it. Maybe Jaime's gonna stab Cersei and his arm is gonna explode into a fiery arm and sword. How cool would that be? Night King Slayer Jaime. But no, all of those are fan fiction. It's not the direction George has been taking us. George is a poet. George duels his foes with words. We cannot take prophecies too literally. As Archmaester Marwyn said, that is the nature of prophecy. Prophecy will bite your prick off every time. So George literally tells us not to believe prophecies word for word. And in that sentence, he intentionally included the word prick. He could have said prophecies will bite you in the ass every time, but no, he said prick for a reason. Because the most misunderstood prophecy is about a prick. No, not Joffrey, it's about Rhaegar Targaryen's second sword, the one in his pants. Rhaegar was Azor Ahai, and he loved Lyanna. She got him hot, made his blood boil in a good way, and at times he developed a little bloody sword if you know what I mean. He stuck that sword into his love Lyanna, and she died, Nissa Nissa. So Azor Ahai didn't kill his love to create a fiery sword, they were in love, and together they created Jon Snow. When good old Maester Aemon died, Sam gave a badass speech. Check out that video above. Sam ended it with,
"But now his fire has gone out."
So life is fire. Then we've got the beloved and very dead Syrio Forel.
I'm a girl.
Boy, girl, you are a sword.
You are a sword. He called Arya a sword. Life is fire and people are swords. So Rhaegar stuck his own bloody sword into his love Lyanna, Nissa Nissa. She died, and what came out was a fiery sword. Jon Snow, Lightbringer. Now there are plenty of heroes in the story, but Jon will be looked at as the main hero in terms of the War for the Dawn. How so though? Is he going to beat the Night King one-on-one with Longclaw or Dane's sword Dawn? No, no way. To understand how Game of Thrones will end, we need to understand Jon better. And to do that, we need to look at the canon. Jon's a good fighter, but keep in mind, the show version of Jon is Hollywood Jon. He doesn't go to Hardholme in the books, so he doesn't kill this White Walker here. Jon's injured during the battle at Castle Black, so he's shooting a longbow. He doesn't kill Ster in the books. The battle at Winterfell hasn't even happened yet in the canon, so we don't know what role Jon will play, if any. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's similar, since Ramsay Snow and Jon Snow are two sides of a coin in many ways. But here's another. In the books, Jon doesn't seek revenge for the mutiny at Craster's Keep, where it's worth noting Carl fucking Tanner totally had Jon's number, and that dude had just 2 knives. I mean, Jon's best kill was Qhorin Halfhand, and Qhorin let Jon kill him. Alright, I'm half joking. Jon is talented, and he trains religiously, because his sword is Valyrian steel, and a man should be as good as his sword. Jon's killed talented foes in the books and the show alike, but my point is, Jon is not a god-level warrior. And that's not a bad thing, he's more than that, we'll get to it. But as he said to Sam, the half-hand could have killed me as easy as you swat a bug. That's Qhorin half-hand. So let's be real, there's no way Jon's going to be able to take out the Night King, at least not without taking some damage of his own, most likely mortal damage. We'll get back to this. So ignore those three scenes, those three battle scenes. Jon's warrior moments in the show are not canon and they do not define who he is. He is so much more. Let's look at the canon to predict the endgame of both the books and the show. Here are 6 moments that define who Jon is. They came across the wolf pups and Ned wanted to kill them. The kids wanted to keep them, so Jon bartered a deal and he saved the wolf pups' lives. Number 2, Samwell Tarly arrived at the wall and he was bullied. Jon said, no mas.
No one touches Sam.
Number 3, Jon and Qhorin attacked a small band of wildlings. Jon killed one, but then he noticed that Ygritte was a girl, so he chose not to swing the sword. Number 4, Jon fought the wildlings one day and not long after changed his views. He saw them as part of the realm and brought them south of the wall. He then married Alys Stark to Sigurd, Magnar of Then, a union of the free folk and the north. Then Jon denied Stannis. He chose to remain neutral in Stannis' war versus the crown. Because that's who Jon is. He's a brother of the Night's Watch. The only gods he worshipped were honor and duty. And lastly, in the show, Jon forgave Ned Umber and Alys Stark even though their parents fought against him. So let's say it again. Who is Jon Snow? There's a war of ice and fire going on, the war for the dawn, and Jon's stuck in the middle. So it seems like he's on Team Fire because that's just where he's situated. He's closer to Team Ice. But Jon is not Team Fire. Jon is a song of ice and fire. He is a champion of life, love, and forgiveness, not of death, hate, and revenge, which is basically the mission statement for the Lord of Light and the Faith of R'hllor. Jon found a way to save the direwolf pups. He brokered a peace arrangement among brothers when they were picking on Sam, and then he took it a step further and brokered a peace arrangement between 2 warring factions, the Free Folk and the Southerners. So Jon's going to die much more than a champion of Team Fire. He's a good fighter, but at his core, Jon is not a ranger. Jon is a steward. He's a leader. Jon is an instrument of change. He's going to save baby Sam's brothers by healing the Night King. And it's going to come at a cost. He died once to help out the Free Folk, who were technically the so-called enemy. And he's going to die a second time, bringing forth the dawn of a new day in the War for the Dawn, for not only the humans, but baby Sam's brothers as well. If you follow me, you know where I stand in terms of the parallels between Jon and the Night King. If you're new here, go check out those videos. I do have some new support for that theory, and a prediction on how Jon Snow will die healing the Night King. I'm going to save that for a future video. I want to cut this one off here so that I don't take away from the concrete with this theory crafting. The point of this video is about Lightbringer. We will never see a fiery sword, because Jon Snow is an Azor Ahai. Rhaegar was Azor Ahai. His special sword was his wee-wee, and he created a very special fiery sword, Lightbringer, namely Jon motherfreaking Snow. So Jon's not going to spear Dany any more than he already has. Longclaw's not going to spontaneously combust into flames. Lightbringer is definitely a metaphor for Jon Snow, bet on it. And if you really want Jon to wield a special sword, don't worry, he already does. Jon's heart is Jon's special sword. He is someone that the people of his world can admire, and they do. And so can you and I. And we do. My bad about making this video delayed. We had a nor'easter here in Jersey, which means a storm blowing from the northeast, tons of snow. Winter is coming. I lost power, but I found my inner child. Check it out.